Four perfect strangers awaken in an empty hotel. Trapped in a snowstorm, forgotten by the living, and pitied by the dead, they are guided by the strange voice on the vinyl. Appears they've found themselves in a game. The rules are simple. Frankly, they couldn't be simpler. In 4 days they shall be released. There's only one instruction they must follow. Do not kill anyone. This is a turnabout with too many faces by Dude with a Mask. Alright, looks like this thing actually works. Have I heard, Miss Basil? Oh, that's cool. Dearest guests of the Nightingale Hotel, I wish you a good morning. I am the Fiend with too many faces. No doubt the villain of this story. As you have probably realized by now, the staff made their exit during the night. Your means of leaving this place for the next 4 days left with them. Afraid you're officially trapped. You may attempt to descend this mountain of your own accord, of course. You should, however, know that freezing to death is as painful as it is sad. And I am of belief that the path of pain can always be avoided. You are not here because I hate you. You are not here because you're bad people. I have not done this because I'm evil, nor am I delusional enough to see myself as righteous. But simply, I have no reason to hurt. You have no reason to be hurt. I've put you in a box. In 4 days, I will take you out of the box. Oh, hello. In the meantime, you are free to do as you wish. This need not be any worse than an unplanned extension of your vacation. Miss Basil, there's only one rule you must abide by. If you break it, you will never leave this place. Vera? It's simple. It's super simple. Remember, no reason to hurt. No reason to be hurt. As long as you do not break this one rule, these conditions will not change. Dear guests, while I have you in this box, you may not kill anyone. Day 1. Well then, I guess it's true what they say. If you get a voucher for a free vacation, it's probably bait for some kind of killing game. I would very much appreciate it if you did not use such language. Do you have an issue against old Buddhist sayings, Miss Basil? Only against those not actually said by Buddha. In any case, I do believe killing has just been expressly forbidden. I would avoid dramatizing the situation, Miss Starr. Darling, we've just been Agatha Christie'd. I think we've crossed the line of dramatic. That's a good way of putting it. Also, I'm amazed you're taking a self-admitted fiend at his word. Especially given that he has, a little bit more than technically, kidnapped us. We are not here because we are bad people. That could be taken in a different way. That he believes we are bad people, but that's not why we're here. But that's nothing to do with his motive. Duly noted, Miss Mission. Inspiring stuff. I am not sure having an attitude will improve our situation, Miss Starr. Attitude? Do I not have a right to be a little peeved here? I have a dinner reservation tomorrow, and my boyfriend worked very hard to get it. Out of all my boyfriends, he's always the one to put in the most effort. And some loon just made that effort mean nothing. I can never forgive that. Out of Well then, how about we call the police? An excellent suggestion. Unfortunately, it would appear cell phones are getting no reception at this altitude. Just as it would appear that the landline has been cut. Which, as we all know, is an action taken only by sane, non-murderous people. Look, think of it this way. Just because we can't kill each other, doesn't mean our captor can't kill us. You processing it a bit better now, Miss Basil? That's... Still, perhaps Occam's razor will be of some use here. The guilty always try to hide in the shadows and watch the situation from afar. And I'd say there's someone here that's been rather quiet, haven't they? Huh? Oh, wait, what? Why are you looking at me like that? I just don't have anything to add. Also, the voice on the vinyl was clearly male. Voice modulators are a thing, don't you know? Besides, you're the most suspicious-looking person here. What? Hello? Do you not see the robot lady? Okay, who are we? What did you say you did for a living? I'm an artist. It's the third time you've asked me that. Oh no, are we Larry? Admittedly, you're more of a stalker than a mastermind on the suspicion meter. Appearances can be deceiving, though. Gee, thanks. On the other hand, they may not be. My detective instincts are going off the charts here. It's those fancy shoes of yours. Paint a picture as clear as day. What's wrong with my fancy shoes? Besides the discomfort. Don't try to change the subject. Tell me, do you feel the thrill? Locking yourself up with your prey? Did you expect us to weep and beg and cry in frustration? No! Please, knock this off! Look, I don't know why this is happening any more than you guys do. I also got this stupid voucher. And you're saying you didn't find it strange someone chose to give you a free vacation? No? What's that supposed to mean? Should I have? Damn it, how am I always the bad guy? I just wanted to see the mountains. Worst vacation ever. Guess I should at least be happy nobody ended up trying to sell me a timeshare or something. Take that, friends who found the voucher too good to be true. Pretty good innocent goof face you've got going there, I'll admit. But know that cuter faces than yours have failed to deceive me. If you are the culprit, whatever you're planning isn't going to work. Got it? I didn't do anything! I really didn't! Putting aside the blatant mistrust, I'm of the belief that we should take the record at its word. After all, if anybody meant us any harm, they could have struck during the night. Your typical slasher movie rampage isn't very in right now. The point I'm trying to make is that we all just get along and try waiting it out, okay? I'm baffled at your lack of common sense. How are you not getting this? We are very likely in some kind of danger here. We need to figure out how to get out of here. Like, now. There's a snowstorm raging outside, though. All problems have solutions. Some tend to be bad. You avoid those. Did you get that one from Buddha, too? If the intent is not to harm us, why trap us? Yes, exactly my point. I can, at the very least, agree that we should not simply stand around. I am, however, still of the belief that our Fiend was being honest with us. Right, well, consider this a preemptive I told you so for me. Just in case I get killed before I get a chance to say it at the right time. You are a woman of staggering optimism, Miss Starr. Careful, Miss Basil. That almost sounded like attitude to me. There's really nobody here. I wonder how they got all the staff to leave. An excellent question, actually. Nightingale isn't exactly your run-of-the-mill dump. Yeah. Isn't the whole selling point that celebrities come here or something? Hard to believe you could just get everyone out, get everyone on board with this kind of stunt. I suppose that would imply that the mastermind is the owner. What kind of idiot would throw away a hotel's entire reputation for something like this? Were you not the one arguing about the culprit's lack of rationality moments ago? No, I was arguing our captor is a flying lunatic. I was willing to give him at least the benefit of the doubt when it came to intelligence, but... they could... still be here. They could still be hiding in the hotel, couldn't they? In this case, I say we find him. Given the size of the hotel, they would not have a hard time. They would not have a hard time dodging us. Which is why we split up. Are you crazy? That's dangerous. I thought we were supposed to give our Fiend the benefit of the doubt. There's a line between spreading panic and acting on the side of caution. As long as we stick together, nothing should happen, yes? Uh-huh. Well, I'll be taking my leave now. Bye-bye. Whoa, wait a minute. That's just dumb. Listen, I know how to take care of myself, okay? No offense, but you guys aren't exactly inspiring a lot of confidence in me. While the feeling is, I assure you, mutual, I still think you should not be foolish about this. There's nothing to be worried about. What's the problem? Okay, we get it already. The Fiend could be waiting to stab us out in the hallway. Just cool with this, would you? Shouldn't we at least try and think about why this could be happening? I've already told you. You're not listening. There's not much I can do to help you, I'm afraid. Come see me if you change your mind, okay? If you think we're in danger, you shouldn't just leave us to ourselves. Why not? You say it like you're hoping I'll protect you or something. That's not what I said. If you want to order me around, please get a spine, okay? You've got your little leather jacket and all, but I know you think that makes you look tough. But it's all about character, and you're not showing any. I don't really see why you're attacking me. I just been... Bye-bye. I think your leather jacket looks very good on you. Thanks. I mean, I know that. I swear. I think. There's something you should know. You were not around when I found the record, correct? Yeah, I totally overslept. Still not sure how all their shouting hadn't woken me up. So you're the one who found it. Years for finding the record, we were debating on whether we should actually play it. As you can likely imagine, I was in favor. Miss Starr was not. Much like an internal IT team, she seems against making progress in a critical situation. Hey now, what is that supposed to mean? I found the record. I also found something else. It looks like a notebook of some kind. Part of it, anyway. But more like a corporate IT team. A lot of the pages seem to have been ripped out. Let's see. I cannot help but notice you withheld this information until Miss Starr left us. That may make more sense when you read it. Something written on the cover. A turnabout with too many faces. Uh-oh. We got a Magatama. Okay, what's going on now? This is unrelated. We just picked up me, defense attorney turned piano player turned poker player turned gentle smart person. And we got a Magatama. Okay, that's our first profiles. Let's see. This adds up to $100 for yesterday. Another night where I can only get paid for the previous night's piano playing. And another night where I have to push it at 3 a.m. just to make this much. Sounds right, sure, but it's not good enough. It'll be enough to cover the drinks for Edgeworth's watch party, I guess. Watch party? Not that he asked me to bring any. Everything in order? Yeah, we're good. We got money. Money obtained. It's roughly $100, more than usual since last night I stayed up playing all night. All the way till 3 a.m. You see, the games played pay way more. Trouble is nobody's playing. Received from Olga. Alright. Been kind of slow around here, hasn't it? Having rumors about people getting murdered here doesn't drive business. Who knew? I don't know about that. Usually gives places like these class. It's not like the club was short of these types of rumors to begin with. Bit of a difference between Johnny Two Hands got whacked and Wright killed his opponent. Well, good thing I didn't do that. I don't know how this is news to you, but the underworld is a gossip club second only to high school. You say that like you're neck deep in it. I've watched The Sopranos. Take my word for it, miss. Hello. The underworld doesn't really exist these days. It's mostly just wannabe gangsters. Mama boy's done mama boy things. Anyone a cut above's just gone online. Which is where your suckers are, Nicky boy. Online poker's all the rage. This after they finally got fed up with the piano playing. Hey now, I can play with my eyes closed. I would argue that's part of the problem. If the complete lack of talent hadn't been there to begin with. Mr. Light, long time no see. Nicky boy, you remember. Well, you haven't made it difficult. I don't think you've changed a bit. Thanks. I mean, sorry I can't say the same to you, but thanks. It's just a beanie throwing you off, trust me. Hiding the hair spikes. I feel like the legend part of Legendary Gambler gave you a decade all by itself. Well, true. Might be old and shambling and tired and useless at most things, but, That's the kind of can-do attitude I like to see. Psst. Is this a mark? My former client. Naughty boy. Not like that. Psh, well, my interest has plummeted. Gonna go mend the bar. You guys need anything? Thanks, I'll have a... Great, fantastic, I'll leave you to it. Goodbye. Not really much of a type of club, is it? I like the atmosphere, personally. Not really feeling one, besides the cold. That's it. That's the atmosphere. The snowstorm outside. Though it's hard to call it unique. Maybe that's what's driving the customers away. Well, whatever. Do the usual song and dance, Phoenix. Ah, yes, it's freezing cold. Takes me back to those days of youth long gone now. Okay, Nicky boy. Let's not make you any older than you have to be. Especially when there's more fun things to discuss. Huh. Nobody ever comes around here for the drinks. Or the music, from what I hear. I take it the fun things also don't include reminiscing about the time Ron got arrested. Afraid not. You here to play, then? Yeah. Just not poker. Not sure I'm too good with much else, to be honest. Does that mean you'll turn your back on my game? As a legendary gambler? You know, not really an all-around gambler. I think I'm just a legendary poker player. On some days, even a legendary defense attorney. Does that mean you'll shy away from my challenge? Guess I might have to. Even if we were to play for $15 million. Of course, I'll hear you out first. Happy to hear it, Nicky boy. Oh boy. You really think I'm that strapped for cash, or are you just showing off? How don't know if $100 is much to show off with. Especially if that's all you got in your wallet. Alright. What's the gamble? Well, I'm all ears. I knew the cash would really win. Just be clear, I haven't agreed to anything here. I'm just curious, that's all. 15 mil isn't exactly pocket change. Depends on who you're asking. People have all sorts of ludicrously valuable stuff just ripe for the taking. Ironically, the more ludicrously valuable, the less they seem to notice it missing. Wonder how you'd know that. As do I. Oh, what's the story here? Heist not giving you enough thrill anymore? Goodness, who do you take me for? Is anyone else that shows up at my door? Sorry. I'm here looking for a thrill, sure, but not because I'm bored of Ronnie's profession. If you only saw him now, things are crazier than ever. These little things on the side are, if anything, a way of powering down. It's all my money, of course. Ronnie knows how I use it, and he doesn't mind. I see. But see, problem is I'm not sure I can really pay you back if I lose. If I lose are 3 words no gambler should ever speak. Touché. Even so. Aren't you tired of this place? I could leave whenever I want. And the only reason you haven't is because you're looking for something to justify all of it. Trust me, I've been all over the world. I've seen it in a lot of people. People you play these games with, I imagine. People who I beat. Who are, mind you, one and the same. You're a bit of a legend yourself, then. And for my last game, it's only fitting I go against you. You saved Ronnie. You saved me. You basically starred this entire chapter of my life. It's only fitting, now that it's coming to an end, that you should be involved in some way. Coming to an end? Ronnie's hanging up the coat and mask. We've got all the money we could ever want for. And the world's gotten a bit too depressing to enjoy the gentleman thief aspect of it all. Preparing someone to take his place and everything. Once that's done, we'll ride into the sunset. Start a family, maybe. You know, strange as it sounds, I feel I'm ready for that leap. I didn't think I would be. I'm happy for you. And all the more confused why you think you have to be here. Because, as ready as I am, I'm also not good with regrets. I feel like if I did play as crazy a game as this, I'd never forgive myself. Honestly? You're nuts. Oh, thanks. What is it then? This game? It's a game of memory. Or rather, our ability to trust it. The only thing that comes to mind when you say memory is match and pairs. Well, it's a bit like that. Minus the cards and needing to match any pairs. But you haven't seen anything like this before. Well now, Mr. Light, I know what a pill looks like. Ah, but you've never seen this pill. This right here is Nemesine. An experimental drug that, as far as the world is concerned, doesn't actually exist. It was created back in the 70s by the CIA or something. And like most things CIA related, its intended use wasn't really ethical. Nemesine, the Greek goddess of memory and mother of the muses. Few capsules like these even exist. The main researcher took the formula to his grave. I have only 5 of these on me. What does it do? It's an extremely precise memory wiper. You take it, everything feels perfectly normal. Then, 6 hours later, the effects of the drug trigger, wiping those 6 hours from your memory. It's actually used by interrogators. They would take one of these before an interrogation and go into their little room, perform whatever act of brutality they thought was necessary to get their answer, and then, 6 hours later, forget what they've done. For all intents and purposes, it absolved them of their guilt. That's insane, honestly. Not sure she should have this. Not sure anyone should have this. I don't think I'm liking where this is going. Oh, come on, Nicky boy. We're just getting to the gamble. Alright, the gamble. The game is simple. We both take one of these. When we do, we'll keep the entirety of our free will. Every action we take will be entirely our own. 6 hours later, we won't remember what those actions were. Bet is this. If, after those 6 hours, I can prove you stole something, I win. Pardon? Well, you're a lawyer, right? No. You of all people should know that evidence is the thing that determines a person's guilt. If I can show to you, with genuine evidence, that you stole something in those 6 hours, if you are unable to find any evidence to prove otherwise, then I win. Much like I would in a court of law, no? Hang on. First, what are we considering as stealing here? Actually, take someone else's napkin. Is that stealing? That's boring. When I say steal, I mean steal something guarded, as in you doing a heist. And what is genuine evidence? Like, you know, not forged. Police evidence, trustworthy witnesses, security footage from the place you'd rob. Things like that. I see. But since I get to keep my own free will, and I know I'd never rob a bank or something, I have a $15 million incentive to not do it. They basically need to frame me. Evidently. If you frame me to the point where even I'd have to admit I did it, then I'd probably just end up in jail, right? Guess so. How am I supposed to agree to something like this? I don't know. That's part of the game. This isn't just $15 million on the line. It's like 15 years of my life on top of that. It's not like you should stand around twiddling your thumbs for 6 hours. That's true. If she's going to use the 6 hours to try and frame me, I can use my time to get an alibi. What's the point of the drugs, though? I mean, again, I know I'd never rob anyone. Evidence or not, I'm confident enough in myself. Are you? I guess that's part of what I'm interested in seeing. At the same time, the experience should be interesting for me. After all, I haven't even begun to think about how I'm going to frame you. I intend to start only after I take the drug. When the mist clears, I'll need to retrace my steps and realize what I even did. Isn't that interesting? You can be a stranger to yourself for a short amount of time. Even so. Nicky boy, I know you've got a daughter. I never let you go to jail. If you get arrested, Master Mask will confess to the whole thing and clear you. Since you won't actually do it, there will need to be another possible culprit in the picture. That's true. Of course, arrested or not, if you lose, you'll be indebted to me. On the other hand, if I win big. Bigger than any bit I ever made down in that basement. Bigger than anything I ever made after a case. I could finally stop moving Trucy between schools. I could make sure her dreams on the big stage come true no matter what. All I need to do is take this pill and be smart about my actions. Well, Nicky boy, what will it be? Just need to think about this logically. The key thing here is that I get to keep my free will. Obviously, there's a chance that Desiree is lying about that drug. Could just be sleeping medicine. Given that my Magatama hasn't acted up, I'd say it's all on the level. At the very least, she believes it is. What's my game plan then? One option is to just go home and hang out with Trucy. When the frame of happens, my own daughter's word probably won't make for a good alibi. It's night. I don't think I can convince anyone to spend time with me for 6 hours. I need to go somewhere public. Somewhere where my presence can be easily established. This dank here is obviously bad. No customers. Some other cafe might do for a little while, but cafes inevitably close. Most of all the ones in the area shut down before 11. That's not enough. That's just not enough for me. What else do I have? How about a hotel room? For example, I rent a room for the night and then call room service every hour. Go to the reception area every now and then. Pop down to the restaurant for a meal. Just give me enough witnesses, right? Yeah, that should work. If I had a better phone, I could have even just recorded myself. Oh, well. Is that how you got there? You went to the Hotel Nightingale? Okay, first step after I take the pills to call Trucy and let her know I'll be out for the night. Second step is the hotel. Parkview Avenue one is like 10 minutes away. Should be fine. Third step is getting noticed there as much as possible. Simple, sure, but I shouldn't overcomplicate things here. I can win. There's no reason for me to fail. I accept. I didn't doubt it for a second. Here you go. Alright, Nimocene? Acquired. Ready? Starting immediately, are we? Why not? I don't see the point in chit-chat, do you? And here I was thinking we could talk about the finer points of Russian decor. Well, here goes $15 billion. And possibly jail time. Here we go. Not really feeling much. Again, you won't really feel anything. Just carry on as normal until the wipe hits. Okay, well. Time now is 7:31 p.m. And I'm guaranteed not to remember anything. Gotta be some extra reason why you're doing this, right? I've been thinking a lot about dying lately. What? Huh? Uh-oh. Wipe. Where? I was just... But... Oh, crap. A trial will commence shortly. Oh, crap. Defendant, please enter the courtroom. I'm... guessing he's referring to me, since I'm the only one here. What? What time is it? It's 1:40 a.m. You okay, sir? Date? Would be appropriate, sir. No, as in the date? November 22nd, 2026. Would appreciate if you didn't glare at me. 6 hours later, practically on the dot. Why are we doing a trial at 1 a.m.? Actually, would you so kind as to remind me what I'm accused of? I would assume both those things had been explained to you. Say I'm stupid and I forgot. Please enter the courtroom, sir. Wait, I need to make a phone call. Can't afford any delay. What an attorney! You're likely to offend yourself. Oh no. Sir, if I may give you a piece of advice, pretending to be insane does not give the kind of glamorous results you might hope. I am insane! No insane person admits their own insanity, sir. I shouldn't have done this, should I? That, I believe, is between you and the judge now, sir. Alright, let's go assess the damage, I guess. Okay, the worst has clearly happened. I not only managed to get myself arrested, I've managed to get myself arrested so hard that they've set up a trial for me in the middle of the night. Desiree's done a hell of a job. You'll be fine, Phoenix. She said she wouldn't let you go to jail. Still, it's escalated up to this point. I might be losing the bet. She's turned up dead, hasn't she? Unless I can prove myself innocent. Which, you know, might be difficult, but with the memory lapse and everything, I know I'm innocent. There has to be some way out of here. Well, the cards have been dealt. Showdown. No crowd. Nobody up for a late-night trial, I guess. Nobody except someone like him, I guess. Court is now in session for the trial of... Really? Again? Yeah, right. You simply can't stop getting yourself into trouble, can you? I think it finds me more than the other way around. It's really how capable you are at getting out of it that counts, if you ask me. Do you believe Lady Luck is still smiling on you? She's yet to fail me. And yet there's a first time for everything, ja? I suppose I should be grateful the charges are not for murder, for a change. Silver linings, right? Before I begin, I extend my sincere apologies to both the defendant and the prosecution. It's if the current circumstances of the city weren't causing enough difficulty to begin with. Due to the rather erratic progress in implementing the Jura system, and the rising crime rate, this trial's scheduling is as it turned out to be. It's between this and setting it 3 months from now. Oh. As you are both well aware, our justice system does not do well with such delays. For what it's worth, right, I tried my best to work something out. Alas, as the prosecutor's committee board believed that the matter was clear-cut. Prosecutorial investigation committee? Oh no. But even the chief prosecutor's word carried enough weight to convince them otherwise. Well, if it was between this and between being in detention for 3 months, I guess this is better. And if this goes south, I might be locked up for a lot more than 3 months. But it's important to stay optimistic in these situations. Speedy investigations lead to a lot of oversights, with the chances of the competence of the police department shot up in a month. For the sake of clarity, let me state that this will not be a jury trial. Defendant's fate rests solely on the evidence and my own judgment. Now then, the defense and prosecution ready. The prosecution's ready to rock here, Judge. The defense is ready to roll. Like, away from here, if possible. You are overwhelmingly confident for not knowing what the fuck is going on. Very good. The prosecution may deliver its opening statement. This is not where I expected this to go whatsoever. As much as I may doubt it, there's a good chance this is your last dance, right? If it is... allow me to give you the solo that dance deserves. Achtung, baby! This one goes out to all the disgraced attorneys out there. That flashback. The crime in question is that of theft. It happened roughly 4 hours ago. The stage was the Van Dyne Museum of Anthropology. The stolen item is known only as the Golden Mask. Perhaps somewhat poetically, it is a remnant of a legendary thief who terrorized Japan some 100 years ago. Ah, yes. My granddaughter is fascinated with these sorts of things. As I recall, the thief was a Frenchman, the infamous A.L. And that stint in Japan was his last. The police cornered him and shot him and watched him helplessly fall into the water. The mask is the only part of him that was fished out afterwards. Really, it's all we have left of our daring thief. A darling thief? At least it would be, had the defendant not taken it from us. What would I even want this thing for? The legacy of this particular thief still lives strong. Many members of his bloodline have taken up their ancestors' profession. Can we purchase an object with some guaranteed buyers, Ja? And with your recent connections, getting in touch with those buyers would be easy. That's more like speculation than hard proof to me. Where's the mask now, Prosecutor Gavin? That is, unfortunately, a question still unanswered. Well, the prosecution has found more than enough substantial evidence to charge right. When he was arrested, the mask was not found in his possession. And he has not been forthcoming with information on where he has hidden it. Didn't take it, didn't hide it, didn't tell you because I didn't know. As you will see soon enough, Judge, that is not very likely. Missing or not, the court will accept this mask as evidence. There it is. With the charges out of the way, I say move on to the main show. The prosecution calls the security guard who was on duty at the time of the robbery. She will fill you in on the events much better than I can. Is it Maggie? Oh, hello. Please state your name and occupation for the court. Angel Star. I'm a security guard at the Van Dyne Museum of Anthropology. Part-time, of course. I was the one on duty when that gentleman over there stole the mask. Allegedly stole. I like that Hobo Nick sprite there. But I am allegedly a pro. I can prove it was you. Even those monkeys in the prosecutor's office managed to put it together. Fraulein Star, I would appreciate it if you refrained from making such remarks. Since I suppose I bring these things in myself. Statistics dictate that some security guard will never be caught up in a robbery. I just didn't believe Van Dyne had anything worth stealing. If I'd known what that thing actually was, I wouldn't have bothered, trust me. Try as I might, the law machine is a shadow I can't seem to shake off. Once a detective, always a detective, I guess. I'm sorry, do I know you? Please be so kind as to tell us what happened. Preferably without calling anyone in this room a monkey, ja? Ja. Especially since I've already seen your breed as closer to worms, anyhow. Fair enough, Angel. The hobo did it. I work the night shift at the Van Dyne Museum. Nobody comes by, usually. My main task includes patrolling the museum, checking all the rooms. I had checked the exhibition hall at around 9:15. Everything was fine then. When I checked it again at around 9:35, I realized that the mask was gone. The only person who entered the exhibition hall between my two visits is the defendant. So, you see, there's nobody else who could have done it. The museum's front entrance is outfitted with security cameras. Confirms that the only visitor that night was Air Wright. Furthermore, the exhibition hall, where the mask was kept, also has cameras. Though the mask itself is not within their range, they do capture everyone walking through it, given that there is only one way in and out of it. Besides Fraulein Starr making her rounds, he was the only other person captured. Well, in fairness, Your Honor, that could be anyone. This is the footage captured by one camera. The second one is of higher resolution. Oh. My, that appears to be Mr. Wright. Appears, Your Honor. That is Herr Wright. Or does he deny that he was in the museum that night? That's totally me. How? Plans to hole up in a hotel. Is this Desiree in some kind of disguise? Nah, hell of a disguise, though. I plead the fifth for the time being, Your Honor. What a surprise. What else can I do? Saying I was there forces me to try and explain myself, which I can't. Saying I wasn't forces me to try and explain the camera footage, which I also can't. Silence is golden. Defense will only point out that in this day and age, appearances can be deceiving, and that if the prosecution intends to claim I was there, I would much rather see some forensic evidence to point to my presence. I will take the prosecutor's silence as at face value. The court accepts this footage as evidence. Those are quite good pictures. Isn't today the 26th? After I realized the mask was missing, I immediately called the police. Herr Wright's evidence standards aside, based on the evidence you have just seen, we quickly zeroed in on our suspect. Herr Wright was not at his home. Instead, we tracked him to the Parkview Avenue Hotel. He'd arrived and reserved a room at around 8 p.m., a little over an hour before the crime. How does he at least try sticking to the plan? I just gotta show you that fucking winky face on the hotel reservation evidence. I love that. As planned before taking them a scene, I got them to the Parkview Avenue Hotel at around 8 p.m. and reserved a room, found by the police after the crime. Camera footage says 11:21, which I could have sworn the date said 11:26 today, which is unusual. That's why we'll probably wait until the last minute to show up. She'd want to ensure the case against me was proven in order to win the bet. That's my deadline to figure all this out. Mr. Wright, you may commence your cross-examination. I must say, as much as I was a little disappointed that we didn't get to follow up with the original mystery, I am quite intrigued by this mystery. Very intrigued. How long have you been working in there? About 2 weeks now. Not exactly a long tenure, is it? Why so confident nobody ever stops by? You ever get the sudden urge to visit a museum in the middle of the night? Not especially, no. Exactly. Of course, Ed, right? It's done something you would usually do. What were you doing there? Can you think of a reason besides stealing the mask, To be clear, I'm still pleading the fifth. But hypothetically speaking, if I went to a museum at night, it would be to appreciate fine works of art, for sure. The only reason I do it at night is because I'm a fairly busy man. Given my tight schedule, I also wouldn't call to visit a sudden urge or anything. Need to plan it in advance. Check with my secretary, etc., etc. Leather jacket. Leather jacket, female. Is the fourth person at the Nightingale Hotel? Is that Desiree? Boy, sure we knew out of that one, didn't you? Frankly, Miss Star, I'm more interested in you. What exactly are your duties as a night guard? How big is the museum, all in all? It takes about 20 minutes to check everything, give or take. There are only 3 rooms reserved for visitors, one of them being the exhibition hall. The rest of our staff or management. Because of that, it's not difficult to notice something is amiss. How often do you make your rounds? Management says once every 2 hours is enough, but I never stop walking. So, you'd say I make 3 of them every hour. That's impressive. It's too boring to spend the whole night holed up in a booth. Your tenacity has certainly rewarded us, Fraulein Star. Let's turn up the dial on your last 2 rounds, specifically. 9:15? Did you notice anything strange before you saw the mask missing? Besides the strange hobo who I spotted entering the exhibition hall just after I had left. No, there weren't any other visitors that night, notable or otherwise. Given how empty everything was, I think you might have thought the entire museum was deserted. Certainly gave you the confidence to try and pull this off, didn't it? Let's keep this on track, yeah? You're saying Air Wright was the only visitor that the museum had on your shift. You consider this important, Air Wright? Sure, why not? Sounds pretty important, yeah? Alright, up to your testimony. Why anything for you, Your Honor? No other visitors, but what about staff? For instance, someone who would have been at the reception to welcome me, right? Are you playing dumb? From 7 p.m. onwards, the reception desk is closed. All nightly visitors use the automated ticket dispenser to get past the entrance area. Of course, being there, you already knew this. Can the automated ticket dispenser be tampered with? Let someone enter without a ticket, I mean. Wouldn't know, wouldn't really care. After all, everyone going in gets captured by the cameras. You included, darling. Right. This little detour aside, I think we're all waiting to hear about your return to the exhibition room. 9:35. What did you do then? Besides die from embarrassment. I called the police, of course. A patrol car reached the scene in less than 10 minutes. The rest of the cavalry was all there just a little before 10. What is this weird trend of the police arriving like 2 milliseconds within the crime happening? Except the one time they had to show up to catch the guy who hit me with his car. What were you doing during those 10 minutes, Miss Star? Again, dying from embarrassment aside. Security staff has an app that allows them to send the museum in lockdown. The moment I saw the mask missing, I triggered it. No in or out until the police came. As for me, I stayed in the exhibition hall to preserve the scene. Didn't feel like going after the culprit. If he was still in the building, he was trapped until the police showed up. If he wasn't, what was I supposed to do? The latter was the case, for the record. When the police arrived, the building was searched top to bottom. No intruder was found. Implying that by 9:35, Star was the only person left in the building. Those are some doors. Speaking of our runaway culprit. You're basing this conclusion strictly on the camera footage, right? Not a particularly bad thing to place trust in. The camera footage was being transmitted to a security company off-premises. There were no signs of tampering, either on the camera or the footage. Is it really impossible to walk around the exhibition hall without being seen? There's only one way in. It's under surveillance. The ventilation system is within the camera's view, too. Beyond that, the room is windowless. Where would you have people coming from? Before we start talking about secret passages, if we made sure to check for those. Nothing. I don't know how you feel so confident about that. You've only been investigating a few hours. As compensation for the short trial time, the manpower was doubled. Rest assured, we investigated every nook and cranny of that place here, right? Whoever stole the mask must have been seen by the camera, as that is a fact. And the only one seen was you. Suppose it wasn't. Pardon? You know, just thinking out loud. Suppose it was someone who just looked like me. Do you have any physical evidence tying me, Phoenix right, to the scene? The culprit managed to avoid leaving fingerprints. Rest assured, however, there is plenty of evidence still tying you, right? Don't keep me in suspense. We'll get to it soon enough. Well, even now, you should see the conclusion, don't you? Why was that? Who are you? Shall we get you a tiny violin? It just seems like a really rash conclusion to reach in such a short amount of time. Yet there was plenty enough time to explain your actions, which you have not done yet. All in good time, Prosecutor Gavin. Sounds to me like you're stalling for time, honestly. Wouldn't dream of it. How about you make this easy for everyone and just confess, I'll refer you to my previous answer. For your sake, right? I hope you know what you're doing here. Where do I start here? Mine is blank, literally. All things considered, I don't think the right approach would be to figure out what I did that night. I'd rather approach this as any other trial. Separate yourself from it, Phoenix. Then as if defending a stranger. If you still remember how to do that, that is. Do not know what to make of this. Do you consider this important here, right? Not particularly. No, I don't. I mean, that was more or less implied so far either way. The question wasn't, was there anyone else that night, but did you notice anything strange? Ah, we got baited. It almost feels like you tried dodging the question, Miss Starr. Dear me, does it? In that case, my answer is bound to disappoint you. Yes, no, up until I found the mask to be missing, nothing strange happened. You consider this to be of some importance, Mr. Wright. You know it! It's astounding how important I find it, Your Honor. Let's not deny you any information as crucial as this, then. Starr, if you'd be so kind as to update your testimony. Well, since you asked so nicely. Besides the strange hobo walking in, right? Yes, besides the strange hobo walking in. But for what it's worth, you were a hobo who had paid the entrance fee. Once I hadn't caught you trying to sleep in the vents, we wouldn't have a problem. And as long as he hadn't stolen anything. Yes, that too. You probably imagined my surprise when I went back to the exhibition hall. What happened exactly? Nothing suspicious happened. What do we know that happened here?
Objection!
False. Afraid that's just not possible, Miss Star. Oh, which part in particular? It's very simple. There's simply no way I'm the culprit. Check it out. No, I got my guy right here. Roll it, Knox. Great. I don't know who that is. According to 7th rule of Knox dialogue for writing good mysteries, Decalogue for writing good mysteries, nobody whose thoughts the reader has been privy to can be the culprit. Checkmate. Yeah! You cheeky bastard. What? This is part of Airright's process. This is part of mine. Shame. Nobody here appreciates good mysteries anymore. Let's just pretend that didn't happen, yeah? Fräulein Star, you were saying. Okay, that was worth seeing. Oh, there is an obvious answer we can do here. Who else could have done it? You could have.
Objection!
Angel. It feels like we've skipped a few steps in our logic here. I understand the distrust in little old me. Usually that comes only when I'm the last suspect standing. The implication being that we've overlooked someone. Of course. Everything you've said, only 2 people were in that exhibition hall. I can accept you believe it, I was one of them. What about the second person? Sounds more like an accusation than an implication. Thinking out loud here, but suppose the mask was already gone by the time I entered the exhibition hall. The implication being that Miss Star had taken it on her round before you showed up. Hid it outside the building in between those rounds, and then reported the mask stolen when she came back. Sounds plausible to me. If the mask wasn't in its case when I entered, I wouldn't have thought much of it. Most people would assume it was a way for restoration or something, right? That's true. After all, I would love to hear your story here, Judge, but I'm afraid time's of the essence. Especially with Airright's last statement. Huh? First, they declare up an issue. The mask could not have been stolen by Fräulein Star. Period. In addition to the front entrance, the other entrances are also covered by cameras. Fräulein Star never left the building. Meaning she could not have stashed the mask. If she could not stash the mask would have been found by the police when searching. There you go, she's not the culprit. Doesn't mean she couldn't have passed to someone else, does it? Goes to the person in the building seen leaving. My ego's been wounded enough tonight, I don't need this, you know? Won't you listen to what Eric Gavin here just told you? The entire building's surrounded by cameras. From this, we know that by 8 p.m., Fräulein Star was the only person left. And yes, we know she really was the only one left. Simple matter of counting. Person goes in, person later leaves. Incidentally, the last person to leave before Fräulein Star was left alone was the daytime security guard. It's when the shift change occurred. Said guard has given us a sworn statement that the mask was still there at that time. The only person seen entering or leaving after that is you, Mr. Wright. Outside cameras? As for your point that Fräulein Star was dishonest about her movements, fortunately for you, we can confirm those as well. The cameras on the inside only cover the areas for visitors. However, for the staff areas, there are other means of verifying a person's presence. All the non-visitor rooms, even the staff bathrooms, have a special lock on them. The way to get to any of them is with one of these. Every staff member gets one. They're pretty nifty things, to be honest. You can only use them times you schedule your shift. For example, I work night shifts. If I tried using mine in the morning, it wouldn't work. And obviously, if you leave your position, the clearance gets revoked altogether. Lord's risk of inside jumps, I guess. Most importantly, every usage gets logged. We will get to it at a later stage of the trial, but for the time being, the log suggests that Fräulein Star was indeed always walking around the museum. Security card. This isn't looking good. No matter how much I try, I can't wiggle myself out. Looks like there's no two ways about it. The person in the footage definitely stole the mask. I gotta prove that it isn't me. Now with all that cleared up, shall we talk about how Wright implicated himself just a few moments ago? Or deal with whatever that's about. You all heard it, did you not? Well, if the mask wasn't in its case when I entered, I wouldn't have thought much of it. That statement. Wright has proven that he has seen the mask at least once before. How else, after all, could he have known that it was kept in a case? The camera footage is still being sorted through. However, I have not yet received word that Wright was ever seen in the museum before the heist. It tells me I never will. Am I wrong, Wright? In addition, earlier when I was presenting the facts of the case, if you remember, first they showed you a photograph of the mask out on the stand, not in the case. I think that the only time you could have possibly known about where the mask was kept was if you were in the museum just a few hours ago. In spite of pleading silence and attempting to be dodgy on the matter at every turn, Wright's own words have just proven that the person in this photograph is undoubtedly him. Well. Well done, prosecutor. I was wondering why you were careful with the details. Wright is an intelligent man. Intelligence, however, gives way to arrogance. What just happened? Why did I say that? I mean, I didn't do it. I don't remember what I did, but I'm not a thief. Get together, Phoenix. Just think about it for 2 seconds. This isn't a gotcha moment. Just a choice of words. If you finished having your moment, Prosecutor Gavin, exhibits being in protective cases isn't exactly unheard of. It's a reasonable assumption, yeah. I just made an educated guess. An assumption, if you will. The photograph of the mask you've shown us. I completely forgot about it. I mean, you didn't even put it in the court record. So your official position is that the man in the footage is not you. My official position is the same as it was 15 minutes ago. And the position was that of silence. You're not doing yourself any favors here, you know. Yeah, tell me about it. For the time being, I'm only interested about the protective case itself. There's not much to it. Not so much the case itself that's important. You can move the glass by hand. It's the pressure pad that the mask is placed on. If there's a difference in weight, an alarm gets triggered. Sirens and everything. Sirens and everything, huh? Interesting. In any case, I do believe we've heard enough from Miss Starr. Given the time at our disposal, I believe we should leave the rest to... I'm afraid I can't let things just move on, Your Honor. There's a few odd points still left to Miss Starr's testimony. Given some of the new information we've just gotten, I'm allowed to re-examine it. If you wish. Investigation has been rushed. We should at least try and ensure the trial isn't. No objections on this end here, Judge. Please continue with your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Smooth the crossfade. This is the point we want to get to here. Absolutely nothing happened, but the protective case, as alarms and shit, would have gone off if someone tried to take it. Which is interesting. We'll deal with that in the next video, though. Until next time, until then.